Welcome back to Kimchi Rednecks. Today we're cooking
with kimchi.
With kimchi.
So y'all know we are the kimchi rednecks. Therefore we must
do something with kimchi.
We must love kimchi. We do. When you have kimchi, what do, Chuck? You got options, right?
Now, especially if you're not Korean, if you were trying to impress somebody and you bought some kimchi for a side dish or a meal, and now you got a little jar of kimchi sitting in the back of your fridge and you don't know what to do with it, we're going to tell you.
Or maybe you bought some kimchi to serve with some bulgogi because you made bulgogi and you were like, oh, you need kimchi as your side dish, and now you have a huge container of kimchi and you're like, what do I do with that? We're going to tell you. So today we are making
Kimchijeon.
And Kimchijeon is
a kimchi pancake.
It's a savory kimchi pancake.
Yes. So in Korea, jeon, I think we've mentioned this before in a different video, is generally considered something people want during rainy weather. I mean, if
they need it for comfort. It's a comfort.
It's a comfort food.
It's a comfort
so if there's good rain going outside, you know, they want to have a little jeon, they want to have a little makgeoli, and sit back and relax. So when you're having weather like this, you want some jeon.
And we had kimchi, and in fact, we had kimchi that is well aged, which is called mugun kimchi. How to botch Korean words 101.
Yeah, and we've been here for years, guys.
Mugun kimchi is the more fermented. It's your older kimchi. It is aged kimchi. It is not bad kimchi. It is just aged. It is not the kimchi that you just made today.
So the one you just made today is going to have
a side dish.
It's going to be crunchier. The cabbage in it is crisper. It's going to have a sharper, more vinegary note.
The one that you have aged is the one that you cook with. It is what you make kimchi jjigae with, kimchi jeon with, kimchi mandu, kimchi, whatever you want to make kimchi with. It is the one you cook with.
If it goes on the stove, you probably want the aged kimchi.
Can you use the other? Yes. But will it taste the same? No. So if you have the option, look for the aged kimchi and get the aged kimchi for your cooking.
Now, this started out as fresh kimchi whenever we bought it, however long ago, and it's been sitting in the back of our fridge. So trust me, guys, we know how it gets there. Now it's aged, we're going to use it.
That's right. So today we're making Kimchijeon. Kimchijeon is a savory kimchi pancake. The one we're making today actually has pork in it. You can make a kimchi pancake without meat. You
can literally just
do everything and
kimchi,
skip the
onions, and the batter base, and boom, that's a thing.
However, kimchi and pork, when they marry together,
it's just a Korean thing.
It's beautiful.
It's a filling.
It's
so
beautiful.
many dish. Kimchi jjigae, kimchi and pork. Sundubujigae still has kimchi and pork. The
kimchi mandu has pork in it.
Kimchi mandu has pork in it. The jeokbokum. There's a version that's
a spicy
pork bulgogi. Often is made with kimchi in it.
We are doing with our pork today. We are also not doing the pancake batter mix. However, you can buy the batter mix that makes this yourself. I don't ever really go that easy. Sorry.
She's always making stuff different.
Sorry, y'all. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start by putting together our 1 cup of flour. You can use 1 1/4 cup of flour if you choose not to use potato starch, but we want a crispy pancake. Chuck likes it crispy. He doesn't like the mush. So because he wants the crispy, we are going to use 1/4 cup. So 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of potato starch. And then depending upon how much kimchi liquid you had, we had about this much because it didn't make a lot of liquid. Okay, so slowly add in your kimchi juice. You want a thin, I would say, pancake batter. So this, I didn't have enough of this liquid, so I also have a cup of water here. I may not use all of this, but you want cold water. And just, again, slowly add in and incorporate. That kimchi juice is going to add more flavor to your batter. If you choose, you can add gochujang, 2 to 3 tablespoons, depending upon your preference. And gochujang will help give you a little more spicy. Chuck did not want super spicy today, so we decided not to go with that. If you do use the pancake batter, you can actually not use the kimchi juice because you'll already have some extra umami in there, but we are going all in this way. If I'd have had more juice, I'd have used it.
You'll notice she's putting the water in a little at a time. You want to get the batter to a consistency. You don't just want to dump everything in there and mix it together because you might wind up with too much water. Now you could also add the water first and get close to your consistency and then use the kimchi juice to finish it off. It's a matter of preference.
Need more water because it's supposed to be very crepe-like instead of pancake-like, very thin.
Thin and runny, not...
So because of my potato starch, I might actually need a little bit more water. And you don't want to overwork your dough. A few clumps is fine. A little bit more, or...
Yeah, it looks about right.
Next, we are going to add in our kimchi. And that is 1 cup of the fermented aged kimchi. It has been sliced. Ours is sliced probably a little thinner than what other people do.
Our bag of kimchi came pre-chopped and then we sliced it up some more.
So the other thing about using the kimchi juice is it gives you that pretty orange color. And see, that's just the kimchi with the batter. So now we're going to add in our green onion, and that was 2 to 3, also sliced. This is 3 ounces of minced pork. We're going to add that in. It is not cooked, in case you're wondering, because you make very flat pancakes and you cook it then. And then I'm going to add in our 1/4 of a medium onion sliced.
So there are often 2 ways of making this. The way we're going is with the way we saw in our research videos, where they add all the stuff into the stuff, into the stuff. That's real descriptive. All of the ingredients into the batter, and then put it all in there and then smooth it out. The other way, which you see more often, I think, with Pajan, is they'll take the vegetables, your green onions, your shredded carrots, if you have any of that stuff, and they'll lay it out in the pan, and then they'll pour the batter over it so that it fills in.
Okay, so I was also, in our research, I discovered that adding just a little bit of sesame oil will also, and this is just going to literally be
a teaspoon,
will actually bump up your umami in it. So we all about the umami here, aren't we? Some people make a dipping sauce for their Kimchi Jeon. Some people do not. So it really just depends on who you are and what your preference is. We're going to make a quick dipping sauce so that we have it. All right, so 1 tablespoon of hot or warm water. Then you want 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. That warm water is to dissolve your sugar. And I'm going to mix that together really quick before I add the cold ingredients because they've been in my fridge, because that's going to melt that. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and 1 teaspoon of vinegar and a little bit of black pepper. Mix it all up, and I'll just pour it in a bowl for later, and we're ready to go.
All right, so we got fire heating over here, getting the pan nice and hot. So we got some water over here. Ow, that's kind of hot too.
Hey.
So we'll zoom in here. So if you splash or flick a little water on your pan, and it kind of just immediately disappears in the steam, your pan is hot.
Your pan is ready.
So we're going to turn this down to medium high-ish. I'm going to get my glove on. This is a little thick to pour, so we're going to hand do it.
So remember, with a kimchi pancake, as with most Jeon, you actually want a flat pancake. So you do not want something that's really big and clumpy. Oh, you need to put oil down.
Oil.
We're using grapeseed oil, which has a high smoke point.
Which is good because we're smoking.
So get our oil in there, and remember, if you want it crispy, you need oil. And you don't want just a little bit of oil. You want enough oil, and you may have to add oil while you're cooking.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So we are making smaller pancakes, and Chuck is going to flatten them out because you want it flat so that it'll cook faster. So the goal is to flatten that completely out.
And keep it somewhat round?
So you want to let it get brown. It's beautiful when it's brown. You may flip this more than once, but you want to make sure you're at least first one.
At least for the first flip, you want to make sure one side is good and
together. This is why I got 2 2 spatulas out for you.
That's the good thing about this spatula is it's wide on the end, so I'm going to scoop it and let's see if I can do this.
Ah!
Like I know what I'm doing.
All right, so that is a nice start to our browning. Yeah?
Yes, but you can still see in the center here it's a little
We don't want it mushy.
less brown.
So we may actually add more oil because we have determined at some point that this pan does soak up a little bit more oil.
So.
Remember, you can always add a little more oil, but if you put too much in to begin with and it's swimming in it, you can't take it out.
There we go. So that's after the first flip.
It's looking pretty.
Still, it will always be a little more mushy in the center than it will at the edges. That's just the nature of the beast.
And you can, if you choose to make a bigger pancake, realize you can make bigger pancakes, but you can also make smaller pancakes. There's no rule that says it has to be a huge pancake. You can make smaller versions.
Yeah, you can make silver dollar Kimchijeon.
So
We're getting some good browning
we're
on
getting
that.
some good browning on that. The other thing is if you want it really, really crisp, you can also hit your heat up a little bit after it's cooked for a little while. Start on lower heat for getting the insides of it cooked, and then turn it up if you want to brown it a little bit more.
Yep. All right, we're going to give this a minute to finish cooking a little closer into the center. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We have successfully cooked some Kimchijeon.
I am using my kitchen scissors. The Koreans use these in the kitchen a lot, and we especially use them when we're cutting jeon. It's very convenient, especially when you have the crispy ones, and these are crispy.
Yes. So we've also got some makgeoli that we picked up.
Osan, the Osan Craft Beer Festival.
Yeah.
And I think that the company is Osan Sul. It's smooth, and I like it.
One of the best I've ever had.
I'll put a link to their website down in the description for you guys, but it's my favorite. All right.
The makgeoli for you.
All right. Are you ready, sir? We've had a couple bites of it, not going to lie, while it was cooking. Because, yes, it's crispy and it's goodness. So,
Ooh, hot.
it's hot. But this kimchi jeon is delicious without the dipping sauce. But it's also really good with the dipping sauce.
So it's almost hard to describe, but it's a big old flavor meld. First you get the crunchy, almost French fry exterior, and then you get onions, then you get the sour from the aged kimchi, and then you get the pork rolls in behind that one. And it's just like a convoy of flavor.
And then you get the soy sauce if you dip it.
Yeah, you get the soy sauce and the vinegar from that.
What do we say to that?
John. Oh, that is smooth.
So this makgeoli was so good when we tried it that I think I bought 1 bottle, and then I ran back and I was like, no, I need another bottle. And they're
She
like,
went back and like, I need more.
and they were like, there's a special on 3, and I was like, hook me up because this is good.
But yeah, that pork and kimchi and onion crispy flavor.
And then add the makgeoli in, the smooth makgeoli.
Yeah, you get the salty and the tangy from the sauce, and then the smooth rice liquor flavor from the makgeoli. Do it up. Koreans got this one on just down to a science.
There's a reason this is comfort food. You got the tangy, you got the salty, you've got the sour, you've got the crispy. Add the makgeoli, you got a little bit of sweet in that.
And in all honesty, if you're not going over the top and trying to make them fancy, you can start making these and have them in the pan in 10 minutes. But yeah, this is quality.
Here's the sad note, though. You got to eat it.
Yeah, unfortunately, jeon in general, at least I found, does not reheat well. So if you cook it, you got to eat it.
But if you don't mind it being a little bit soggy, you could eat it cold. I don't think it would be terrible cold.
It gets a little rubbery, a little more chewy. If you don't mind that texture, because some people cook them that way in the first place. So that's a thing. But if you like them crunchy, they don't reheat well. If you like them more pancakey, they're not that bad reheated.
There is another name for this. It's also called kimchi-buchimgae. So not just Kimchijeon, it can be referred to as kimchi-buchimgae. Either way you look at them, it's a fried kimchi pancake and it's awesome.
Right. So we're going to finish eating said fried kimchi pancakes. Like, subscribe, do the internet stuff. We'll see you all around.